So what happens when a company that's pretty much the circulatory system for all of US healthcare has a truly blockbuster quarter? Well, it usually signals something much bigger is going on. Today, we're going to dig deep into Cardinal Health's massive Q2 earnings report to figure out what it tells us, not just about the company, but about the future of healthcare itself.
Let's just kick things off with a number that really turned heads on Wall Street, a 36% jump in non-GAAP earnings per share. Now, all that really means is it's a way of measuring profitability that cuts out the one-off stuff to give you a clearer picture. And look, a jump this big isn't just a good quarter. No, this is a statement. It's a sign that every single part of their strategy is firing in perfect sync.
And this wasn't just, one part of the business getting lucky. The CEO, Jason Holler, he made it super clear. This growth was completely across the board. Every single one of their 5 main operating segments saw double-digit profit growth. That is the sign of a seriously healthy, well-oiled machine. So you might be wondering, what does Cardinal Health actually do? Well, the best way to think about them is as the unsung heroes of healthcare. They're the ones making sure that everything, from life-saving drugs to simple medical supplies, gets from thousands of different manufacturers to your local hospital, your pharmacy, you name it. They literally keep the entire system's heart beating.
Okay, here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with those absolutely eye-popping numbers. Then we'll dive into their powerhouse Pharma segment. After that, we'll check out the incredible comeback story of their medical products division, and then meet some of the new kids on the block that are really driving future growth. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by looking ahead at what's next for Cardinal.
All right, first up, let's talk about the absolute engine that drives this entire operation, the Pharmaceutical and Specialty Solutions segment. I mean, this is the bedrock of their success. And the numbers here, well, they're just staggering. Okay, get ready for this. In just 3 months, a single quarter, their Pharma segment brought in $61 billion in revenue. That's a 19% jump from last year, and it's all being fueled by just massive demand for their products.
And here's a stat that really puts the dominance of their pharma business into perspective. That $61 billion is more than 10 times the combined revenue of all their other segments put together. Yeah, all the others total just $5 billion. It really is the core engine.
So how in the world did they pull off a 29% profit increase? Well, it was kind of like a perfect storm of success. They had huge sales in specialty drugs, which got a nice boost from their recent acquisition of Solaris Health. Their generics program was just on fire, and on top of all that, they managed to squeeze even more efficiency out of their already gigantic distribution network. Now let's shift gears a bit to a different, but honestly, an equally impressive story. We're talking about their Global Medical Products and Distribution segment, or GMPD. This story isn't about massive revenue numbers. It's about a stunning turnaround.
Okay, this slide right here tells you everything you need to know. Look at this. They only grew revenue by a pretty modest 3%, but they more than doubled their profit with a 106% increase. That, my friends, is a masterclass in getting efficient and fast.
So what was the secret sauce? Well, it was a mix of really smart plays. They got more business out of their existing customers, they went on a serious cost-cutting spree, and they successfully pushed their own Cardinal Health branded products, which grew by 10% here in the US. Basically, they got lean and mean.
So we've seen the giant and we've seen the comeback kid. Now let's talk about the future. Cardinal has this group of smaller, but way faster growing businesses that are really poised to be the next big thing. They just call it their other segment. But seriously, don't let that boring name fool you.
This segment is actually made up of 3 totally distinct businesses, and each one is a powerhouse in its own right. You've got At-Home Solutions, which is all about bringing care into patients' homes. Then there's Nuclear and Precision Health, which is on the absolute cutting edge of medicine. And finally, OptiFreight Logistics, which handles the incredibly complex world of healthcare shipping.
First up, At-Home Solutions. This is a massive growth area because, let's face it, more and more healthcare is moving out of the hospital and into our living rooms. It's cheaper for the system and way more convenient for patients. Cardinal is betting big on this trend with smart moves like their recent pickup of advanced diabetes supply.
Next is Nuclear and Precision Health, and this is where things start to sound like science fiction. They are leaders in a field called theranostics. It's a wild approach that uses the exact same molecule to both find and fight diseases like cancer. It's incredibly precise, it's growing like crazy, over 30% revenue growth this quarter, and it's a real glimpse into the future of medicine.
And last but definitely not least is OptiFreight Logistics. It might not be the flashiest part of the business, but man, is it critical. They basically help hospitals and clinics streamline all their shipping, and they are so good at it that their revenue also grew by over 30%. And when you put all three of these businesses together, their combined segment profits skyrocketed by an incredible 52%. Wow.
So, with literally every part of the business firing on all cylinders, what's next for Cardinal Health? Well, they've given us a pretty clear roadmap, and let's just say it is full of confidence.
Look, you don't raise your forecast for the rest of the year unless you're feeling really good about where things are headed, and that's exactly what Cardinal Health did. Just look at this. They bumped up their guidance for earnings per share and for profit growth in every single one of their segments. They're sending a very clear message. This wasn't a fluke. This is the new normal.
So let's just boil it all down. What are the big takeaways here? 1. Their pharma business is an absolute beast. 2. Their medical products division has made an incredible comeback. 3. Those smaller other businesses are now major growth drivers. And 4. They're just swimming in cash, which they can use to fuel future growth and reward their investors.
So yeah, it was a near-perfect quarter for Cardinal Health. But in the incredibly fast-paced world of healthcare, success is always a moving target. It leaves you with one big question. What's the next big challenge lurking just around the corner? And will they be ready for it?